You are not Canadian. Hi, Drew Wilson here from Freezenet, and today I got another vlog posting for you about Bill C-11, or as the previous video suggests, what is now called the Online Streaming Act, because the law has, unfortunately passed, and it's, yeah, it's not a good scenario right now at all, to say the least. But one of the things I have been noticing recently is that a number of people have started to discuss, what counts as Canadian content and what does not. And some people actually legitimately believe that, if I'm Canadian and I upload something about anything, but it doesn't matter because I've uploaded it, I've produced it, that sort of thing, that makes me Canadian. So does that mean that that in that scenario you are Canadian? No, absolutely not. That's not how the system works by any stretch of the imagination. So the question is, well, why is that? Why does the lack of being why is the fact that you're Canadian does not qualify you as doesn't necessarily mean you're qualified as Canadian content? Well, that's just how the system works. So in one of the videos, they're like talking about how, yeah, I'm very doubtful that I'm going to be counted as Canadian content, but they didn't really go into why necessarily. So luckily for you, I do have a little bit of experience in the broadcasting system, if you can believe that. Yes, I do have a bit of that experience. So hopefully I can kind of clear up some of those questions for you. So the CRTC has a set of rules, and it's very stringent, very narrow. And these rules have been around since 1984 to determine what is Canadian content, or as they'd like to call it, Cancon. And these rules have been largely unchanged since that 1984. So these rules were basically made when vacuum tubes were a big thing in broadcasting, and Technicolor was like this new and exciting technology. And people are like, well, what's an internet? So yeah, not off to a good start there at all. So I'll leave a link in the description why I looked at the rules and concluded that I don't qualify as Canadian content, and as well as the rules I'm about to show you. So as I mentioned, there's a point system for the CRTC from the CRTC, and I have them right here. And as you can see, yeah, this is just a part of the rules. There's more to it, but you have to be basically like the producer, the person that makes all the decisions, has to be Canadian first of all. And then afterwards it says, what is the point system? And it says, very often a book has only one author. Audiovisual productions, on the other hand, require a team of creative personnel to bring them to our screens to inform, enlighten, or entertain us. Points are awarded for productions based on the key creative functions being performed by Canadians. Key creative positions for live action productions, and there's an asterisk, and in the asterisk, the fine print, it says, note that other rules apply to animation productions, so basically its own ball of wax there. But for, live stuff like you talking, that sort of thing, it says here, the director, that you can get 2 points for that. Screenwriter, 2 points. First and second lead performers, which is performer or voice, 1 point each. Production designer, 1 point. Director of photography, 1 point. Music composer, 1 point. And picture editor, 1 point. So, yeah, if you're basically, doing this whole, I'm uploading for myself, that sort of thing, then chances are you do not qualify because you just don't have enough personnel to actually, produce that content and fulfill enough rules to be considered Canadian, because you have to have those 6 points, and those 6 points are actually a lot harder to get than it looks. So yeah, it's not as though everyone is going to be pretty much out. There's probably going to be some big production companies like YouTubers that might qualify. Like We're talking like Linus Tech Tips or super simple songs, that sort of thing, like big production crews to create this stuff. And if you're alone, yeah, it's not, you're probably out. And even then, those big players, they may not qualify either. We don't really know for sure. So the thing is, like, if you're feeling like super courageous, like, I'm gonna prove that guy on YouTube wrong, I'm going to go through the process anyway and show everyone up that, yeah, it's not that hard. Well, here's the other thing too, is that when you try and go through the process, you're gonna be hit with some pretty stringent forms as well. And those forms, well, I have a sample form up here, and this is what it looks like. The sample form, that is. And as you can tell, it's, it's a bit involved. There's a few questions they do ask you, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions involved, and it just, really keeps going and going and going. And can you just imagine, for every single video you are uploading, that you are going to be filling out forms this long? Like, it just seems to go on forever, like it just keeps going and going and going. And yeah, I think you kind of get the idea. It's an absolute nightmare, I would imagine, to fill out a form like that. So even filling out the form is a process in itself. Like, you have to properly log into the CRTC website, and you have to get the appropriate structure of the form, and you fill that out, and then who knows, maybe you'll wait maybe, I don't know, 6 months before they finally process it, and maybe you'll qualify. Yeah, that one video you have uploaded kind of qualifies as Canadian content. And like, man, 6 months, like, you need that agility to upload quickly online. Like think of it this way. Like, say you're making some money, and a sponsor approaches you and says, listen, we got a product that's going to be debuting in about 2 weeks, and we would like to sponsor one of your videos, and maybe you can talk about our videos, or talk about our products. And you respond by saying, cool, I'd be happy to do that. It'll take about 6 months to process, but sure, I'd be happy to do that. How do you think the sponsor's going to react? Like, no, the budgets for marketing is in place. We timed everything out so that it's going to happen at the end of the month. Like, we kind of need this video now. We can't hold off on any reason, let alone like waiting for you. Like, we need the publicity now. And it's going to be a no-win situation for you, because you have to kind of comply with this Cancon rules, that sort of thing. So that sponsor is probably going to walk away along with those dollars that you probably would love to have for your YouTube channel or TikTok channel or that sort of thing, and find someone else, because there's plenty of people around the world that don't have to suffer through these stringent rules. So yeah, it's not a good situation. Like I said, you need that agility to be able to upload quickly. You need to have time to edit, that sort of thing, but then you have to upload it afterwards and do so quickly, so it's timely in a lot of cases. And it's just not what the system is designed for. It's not designed for the fast-paced internet we know today. Not by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't even thought of back then when they made the rules. So yeah, in all likelihood, you're probably not qualified as Canadian content or Cancon like you might think you are. And the other thing too is that, do you even want to be counted as Cancon in the first place? And there's a lot of debate around that because of how typical platforms work these days. So like, in a general, like, I like to use this example. The general idea is that you would have in these sort of situations 2 pools of content. One pool is like the overarching, like, tons of videos that we know and love today. Like YouTube, for example, like, has like hundreds of billions of videos. And for the Cancon, you shrink that pool to, like, say tens of millions of videos, which is still a lot, but considering how diverse content is these days, yeah, it's chances are viewers are going to have a hard time finding the content they want to consume. So let's say, for example, someone out there is looking for the totally not oddly specific concept of restoring a McLaren P1 that has been flooded out. Well, in the larger YouTube pool, you will probably find something that fulfills those search results. But if you're like sequestered to just Canadian content, chances are you won't find that video. And let's say viewers will find, say, instead a video of some guy with glasses blathering on about this Bill C-11 thing. Well, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for a McLaren P1 being restored from a flood. And they're going to look at that video and downvote it. And they're going to say, this is not relevant to my interests. And they would be right. And afterwards, the algorithm is going to punish those videos afterwards because they're going to see all these downvotes and negative views on the video, and it's going to say, whoa, this is not good content. Maybe we shouldn't recommend this video to other people on our platform. And that's going to have a major negative impact on your reach for your audience and around the world. And that's not a good thing at all. And it's a situation that was totally not your fault. You produced some pretty decent quality videos and you just got punished anyway because of circumstances that are beyond your control. So that's one way to kind of look at things of maybe why you may not want to qualify as Cancon. Of course, the other thing too is that every YouTuber and every TikToker, we're different. Everyone's different. We have a huge diverse array of voices. So there is no like one clear-cut clear-cut solution to all this either. So there may be some creators out there that would benefit from having to go through the system and try and count as Canadian content. But for a lot of other video creators out there, I would say a vast majority of them, it may not be advisable to even try and go through the process because you may be undercutting yourself in the end, and you'd rather, ditch the audience of Canadian viewers as much as you would like to have Canadian viewers and just go for the larger pie of the global audience. So something to kind of keep in mind in all this. So either way, I hope that kind of, clears up some of the questions. Again, I'll leave the links in the description below to kind of give you a better idea of how the Cancon system actually works. I know it's probably pretty depressing and maybe a little disheartening, but at least you know. So that's all for this video that I've decided, maybe you'd benefit from. If you want to support this channel, there are plenty of ways you can do that. You can drop us a like and let us know, hey, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. And if you want to support us in other ways, there's also subscribing to the YouTube channel. You can turn off notifications and get real-time updates on what videos we posted. But if you have enough notifications as it is, you're kind of overwhelmed, don't worry, it's not mandatory. But a subscription will help us out as well. It helps out the channel a lot. So another way you can support this channel is to check out our website, freezenet.ca. And through that, you can get all sorts of cool music reviews, video game reviews. You get the latest in news. We even have a full-fledged wiki with thousands of hours worth of documented music. So if you want to explore music, that's a really good place to go. And all of it, of course, is free. There's no paywall or anything like that. It's all available free to check out, and it helps us out by browsing around our website. And another way you can more directly support us is through our Patreon page, patreon.com/Freezenet. And through that, you can get all sorts of cool insider information. You can get access to our early access to our podcasts and a whole lot more. There's a lot of cool features with that. So, and there's also, if you don't like the whole subscription thing, you don't like Patreon, don't worry. We also have our coffee page, coffee.com/Freezenet. So you can just, drop us a one-time donation, buy us a coffee, that sort of thing, and we'll make sure every dollar does count. So I guess that is all for now, and until next time, keep it cool.